Good morning, America.
Okay, introduction. Morning.
Welcome to The Slice. We're talking about Black men in the insurance industry with a little bit of a twist to it. Good morning, brother.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm alive and kicking. Thank you, God.
Oh, I feel that. Happy Wet Friday. I know it's Wednesday, but I'm saying Happy Friday in my head. I'm my PTO.
Just a couple days early. That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be like that.
So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people watching, bro.
Okay, everyone. So I'll start introductions. Hey, everyone. My name is Kelechi Nyawu. A little bit about myself. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Before Dallas, Texas, I was in Powder Springs, Georgia. I'm currently a life science underwriter. A little bit about myself outside of doing underwriting. I'm also the director of outreach and education for Young Risk Professionals for Dallas. And then also I'm in the NIA National Board, no, NIA DFW board as the membership chairman for the DFW.
What's NIA? What's NIA?
Oh, NIA is the National African American Insurance Industry. Yeah, and so it's basically a way for African Americans just to connect in insurance. Really amazing field. But what about
awesome,
you,
man? Hey, so I'm Uzoka. I am the first of many in my family to be a rebel, and so I am a licensed financial advisor, all things insurance and investment related. I'm actually here in Atlanta. I'm from Queens, New York. Moved from Jersey actually. And yeah, this is exciting. So outside of my professional life, I am a BMW enthusiast and I like taking long walks to the fridge, right? And so that's a little bit about me. We got another brother with us. What's up, brother?
Hey, man.
Hey, morning. Can y'all hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. So, fella, Abioye, been in insurance now for about 13 years, give or take. Born and raised from Houston, Texas, the product of Nigerian parents. And I'm a managing director over in the commercial underwriting. I oversee a team of production underwriters and responsible for the profit, loss, and growth of a book of business within that territory. And also on the side, I've also got a podcast called How to Corporate that's focused on empowering individuals to go out and do for themselves and be able to take themselves to the next level. So using other people's experiences, and we do a lot of conversations similar to these and similar to what we'll have today on using other people's experiences to take that information and go out and take our game to the next level. So excited to be here for you guys.
Dope, man. Dope. So what is it like being a product of Nigerian parents in America in an industry that we're not technically, ethnically, socially supposed to really be in, yo? What is that like? 'Cause you're a little bit younger than us. What's that like, man?
I'd say like starting off, like, I guess even more background on my career. It's like originally I wasn't even supposed to be doing insurance because I was originally funny stuff. I was originally a biology major because you know the saying with Nigerians, because we're all Nigerian here, is either doctor, lawyer, engineer, or failure. Really,
That's it.
but
That's it.
we've all heard that. But literally the beginning of my freshman year, I switched from biology to economics to insurance because of a teacher. And my experience, like, I didn't know too much about insurance really, but I didn't think I would see that many of us really in this field really. But luckily, early on in my career, like I joined NAYA, got involved really, and I feel like that's definitely has helped out. And sure, there are instances where I'm like probably might be the only one in the room, but like I'm seeing through just NAYA and just like networking more, I'm seeing more people like me in higher level positions, which is really inspiring, really. So that's kind of been my experience, really. So I say it's been a positive experience, really, too, like the things I've been involved in, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually economics, my economics class that taught me like supply and demand. And that's what piqued my interest about money and that industry because I'm on a path to be like IT, information technology, like help desk support. And I was like, this is not exciting as as supply and demand and money and economics. So that's how I got into the field. How about you, fella?
Yeah, it's interesting. I can relate to Kalechi's story, right? The very well known saying of doctor, lawyer, engineer, or failure. So I've got a sister that's a pharmacist, and I've got about a couple other cousins that are pharmacists. And when our many of our parents come to this country, they come from backgrounds or impoverished kind of life experiences that don't provide a lot of consistency. And so when they come
Yeah.
to America and they see all the opportunities, they tend to gravitate towards things that they know will provide consistency. And so going into fields like medicine, law, engineering, et cetera, typically provide some form of consistency. And so I was encouraged to do that. And that was my plan in college. And I worked in a pharmacy while I was in college and hated every day of it. So even though it was consistent work, it provided a good living and I could see what the path was going to be. I did not enjoy this work. And,
Yeah.
luckily for me, I had a lot of great mentors in my life and I just I accepted the fact that I don't love this work. I need to find something else. And I took all that information that I had around healthcare and the classes I was taking in business and started gravitating towards insurance. And that's really, how I decided that I was going to make insurance my career. And I can say,
Mm.
13, 14 years on the other side of it, I'm very happy that did happen and that I did take
Yeah.
take the leap because this is a great field to be in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We never.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I was about to say, a follow-up question. So, like, since I'm early on in my career, like, I've been doing the insurance industry for, like, about, 3 years now. 7 if I caught my major, but I can't. But so let's just say 3. Since you guys been in the industry, like, a lot longer, how do you think it has, like, progressed as being a Black man in insurance, really, for the both of you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
So
Chika,
it's
you want to
been,
maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
I started. I've been with big firms, small firms, and so I started my career with New York Life Insurance Company, right? Big company, well known in the industry, and that was interesting. And then going to like small insurance brokerages where they didn't have like the support or the name, and I had to explain to people who we were. So it's been a very interesting for me. I love learning different aspects of not just insurance, but finance in general. So that's why I went into investments. I've done banking, right? I've done business development, helping entrepreneurs get grants and funding. So I've done kind of a couple different things. One of my managers early on told me the importance of adding tools to your tool belt. And so I've always been like, cool, if I can go learn something else over here, I'm not necessarily loyal to companies, man, because I just know we're technically at will. They can let us go whenever they want. So I'm like, yo, where can I go learn something else that's going to add to my tool belt so that I can, in a way, like regurgitate and teach our community about these different things, right? Business development, real estate. I actually was in real estate for quite some years. Insurance, investments, all the things that build wealth. And so my progression has been more so, I won't say linear. It's just been like, let me learn the different aspects of wealth and the different aspects of finance so that I can teach our people.
It's awesome.
So that actually is an interesting point, man. On why, right, you started to make that decision, and we think a lot about, to many of our backgrounds, right, which are similar in nature. I know for me going into insurance was not a widely accepted career of choice, right? So and everyone else shaking their head, we're all on the same page. I think it's interesting. Maybe if y'all want to maybe touch on that, or why do you guys think that insurance is not very well known, or maybe not initially accepted, quote unquote, within many of our communities?
It's just not traditional. It's just not traditional. But it's crazy because like insurance, real estate, investments are arguably three of the most lucrative industries you can be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but more so from like a commission standpoint, right? And so I know for me, I've been the black sheep of my family for quite some time. Like I'm the only one in my family to not attend Columbia University in New York City. I'm the only one in my family to write a book, the only one in my family to start a business, the only one in my family to do commission career, right? So I know, like that's how I was kind of brought up. And it's so funny when our parents yell at us for being rebels, but then like, yo, you left your home and went to a whole nother country. Isn't
the original rebels, like
the originals. Yeah, no. So it's funny because, and a couple of things, right? I think it's important to define what we mean by community. So, for myself, Houston has a very large Nigerian population, and so when my parents came here to America, even though they kind of came here on their own, they grew into having a very large community, right? So think about church groups. Think about folks that you work with, that you go to school with, that you hang out with all the time. So, I mean, a lot of the friends and family that I kind of grew up with were all considered family, right? All the aunties weren't really aunties, but because we all grew up together, right? They're all considered aunties and cousins and things of that nature. And so there is a bit of a pressure to do things the community way, right? So you mentioned like the word like black sheep, right? It was a very similar thing. It's interesting because over the years it's changed a lot, right? When you see folks that come from our community branch out and do many more things, whether it's sports and media and entertainment and acting, you see all that. So the mindset has definitely changed over the years, but years ago it was a very traditional route. And when you went outside the box, like you shared, when you didn't go to Columbia, right, it was very much frowned upon, right? And so, I mean, Kelechi, how was the experience for you?
I think it's still definitely traditional, but I feel like it definitely has been growth. Like when I did insurance, my family was happy as long as I was the best and somehow got my doctorate. I don't know how.
You must be a doctor. You must be.
I think I asked my parents, I was like, if I was making $500,000 but didn't have my doctorate, do you think I'd be successful? Like, I mean, but where's the doctorate? Like, literally.
Where's my A++?
I know.
A+, man. You must have an A++.
Yeah, but I realized, like, you really got to do what's best for you. And, like, the success will be there, really. And as long as you just show them that you're doing well, really, and just give back. Like, when I started in insurance, my first paycheck I did to give back was I gave my parents both watches with mom and dad on the back. And, I feel like it's important to just give back to your parents, really. So that's important.
Yeah. We were talking the other day. You bought him something, and your mom was like, "What was that? Tell me what happened again."
Yeah, so I think because I don't have my doctorate, they're like, yeah, they think I'm in the poverty line. Like I know you guys can relate to that. Like if you don't have like higher education and you're just in insurance, even though insurance is a lucrative field, but like I remember for Mother's Day, we got my mom like a very special gift. It was very expensive, and the first line that she said was like, "Can you afford rent this month?" I was like, "Wow, I'm not struggling." Like, so like how do you guys say I know we touched upon like the mindset's changing, but like I'd say it's definitely improving that insurance is being seen as like a good field really. Do you see that path continuing?
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man. I mean, it's I think when many immigrants come to America, they come with what they think that they know, and then life changes with experience. And so they come in, they experience life, they see what life is like in America, and they see that there's a lot more opportunity out here, right? Because when you grow up, um, in a particular community, like, for my parents, it didn't matter how much education you had, it didn't matter, how hard you worked. It wasn't guaranteed that you were going to have a successful life because of just the inequalities, right, that come from that. And so they bring that same mindset over to the States. And so that's why they're just searching for consistency, right? And that's why they push their kids so hard to education,
Yeah.
education, education, is why we joke and say, well, if you don't have a doctorate, then you're not really anything, right? So you must have a doctorate. And so it has changed over the years and
Yeah.
of how you can do different things within this field. And there's a lot of opportunity to growth. There's a lot of opportunity. And they can look back and say that, okay, they figured it out. So,
Mhm.
and it's funny because I kind of want to maybe pivot a little bit and ask you guys, what has the experience been like as a black male, as someone of Nigerian descent, kind of within the insurance industry? Has that had an effect maybe on you guys' career, or just how you interact with people, or how you maybe perceived? Just curious on what you guys think around that.
Yeah. So you guys, I know you guys have been told before, you are not my peer, right? So I know that I have tried to advise my people, Nigerians who are a little bit older than me, and it doesn't matter how much knowledge I know, how many licenses I have, how many certifications I have. It's like they can't take learning from a younger person. Have y'all ever?
I, I feel
I mean,
like
I
it's
can
both.
comment, but Kalechi, go ahead
I'm
too.
in the I'm in the sales part. So it's a little bit
Yeah,
different. I know you
Oh,
guys
no, I
are
understand.
more so like back office, right? In a
I
way.
understand. Yep.
yeah. I'd say maybe for me it's different. I feel like when I'm talking about my field, people are open to learning, really. But also, I think there's some negative aspects of the insurance that they think like, oh, Kalechi, what old lady are you ripping off this week? I'm like, that ain't what I do. Because I saw some people think insurance is negative, but like insurance is vast and we're very positive. We get back to community. So I say it's been there's two sides. Like I feel like people are definitely interested in learning, really, because like insurance is so wide and vast, really. And when I talk about my career, I feel like people they're like, oh, that's interesting, and people are always wondering, like, Clutch, you always seem happy what you're doing. Like, I'm like, I've never seen someone happy in their field. So like, I feel like the way we can change the mindset of just like insurance being more positive and just giving back to our communities and like volunteering
Yeah.
and going to schools, really, which is what I try to do while I'm like involved in YRP, like speaking to schools. So I feel like,
Yeah,
have you?
career days and things like that, keynotes. Yeah, that's key because then representation matters. And when the young kids see brothers that look like us and well spoken and well dressed and educated, they're like, yo, I can do that too. Like I was born in New York, so when my parents came here, went to New York, and New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, PA has another big population of the Anambra Enugu Association of America, right? And so growing up, hanging out with our cousins and aunties and uncles, because so here's one thing I know is, and I don't know if y'all got the same experience, but so growing up, right, in certain communities, it was like on the weekend I'd be partying with my Niger people, right? And And then on Monday, I'd go to school and it'd be like, "Hi, Cheeky. Hi, hey, Cheeky." And it's like, I didn't correct anybody when I was younger on how to say my name properly, right? And so it was just easier for them to say Cheeky versus Chike. And so growing up, those same friends, right? When I try to correct them, they think I'm being bougie or something. They're like, "Oh, you're fancy." I'm like, "No, that's my name." Y'all had that same experience?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I can 100% relate to that. And our names, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And so it's not always it can be very intimidating for many people. I've It's funny. I remember somebody asking me one day, like, "Do you ever get tired of correcting people on how to pronounce your name?" I'm like, well, I mean, yes, but at the end of the day, it is my name. And for many, many years, I let people mispronounce my name for the longest. And this is all the way back to even grade school. And I remember one time I was with a broker. And this is when I was as an underwriter, as an individual contributor. I was with the broker. I was meeting them, I think, for maybe like the first time. And we were grabbing lunch. And we had just got to the restaurant. She sat down with me. And so I introduced myself like, "Hey, my name's Fela Abioye." And she's like, "Excuse me?" I said, "Fela Abioye." And so I'm pronouncing it for her. I'm spelling it out, making sure she understands how it sounds phonetically. She was like, "Wouldn't it just be easier if your name was James?" I was like,
Yo, y'all know that's what happened to Nelson Mandela, right? Do
"Oh,
y'all
no,
know
I
that?
had no
Did y'all
idea."
hear that?
No.
Yeah, so Nelson Mandela's name is not Nelson. One of his teachers in Africa was like, "Yeah, I don't know how to say that. I'm just gonna call you Nelson," and it stuck.
Mm, mm.
I was like, "Yo, that really happens."
But that's real. But that's the everyday experience, right? That we kind of live. And of course, I had to
Yeah,
kind of check her. I was like, no, like, my name, our names carry a lot of meaning, right? And we all know that our names carry a lot of meaning, right? So I'm from the Yoruba tribe, and so my name Fela, right? Like my whole first name Omo Fela means like wealthy son, and uh, uh, not so much of like money as in wealth, but like wealth and riches, wealth and life and good health. That is the essence of what your name comes from, right? You wear that name proudly.
yeah,
But there's a challenge, when you come across people every day who can't pronounce it or don't know how to pronounce it, and the challenges that you kind of go through all of that. And so I had to,
or they don't
some
even
years
want
ago, I
to take the
followed.
time.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, I just would love to hear kind of from y'all's experiences, how that's been for you.
Kelechi, tell the people what your name means.
My name means give thanks to God. And so, I definitely hold my name. I love my name. And I love that you gave that experience, by the way, because I have it's an experience I didn't even know was a part until like after my first job. So when I was interviewing for my first job, my interviewer, I told him my name. And I was like, it's Kelechi. He was just like, oh, do you go by anything else? I was like, no, but you can call me Kelechi. And no, but what was funny was as I was leaving that job, because I love that manager. He was amazing. And as I was leaving, he's like, Kelechi, I do want to say this. I knew I was going to hire you immediately because when I asked you if you wanted a nickname, you said no immediately. And I was like, I like his answer, how you said it like that. And so, like, I feel like it's important that we are correcting people nowadays because, like, it comes with, it's your name. And, like, I feel like people respect you when you just, like, correct them, really, because
Yeah. So mine is Chike, but the literal translation is Chukwuike, which means strong. And so growing up, I knew that outside of the discipline that I got at home, I knew the only way to make it was God, right? Make it to older age was God. And so my name really is important to me. I got it tatted on my arm and everything because I believe in it and I hold it close to me. And so I think that one of the things that we can do is showing up to career days and speaking to young kids. I'm also part of the African American Association of Financial Advisors, which was actually founded by the first CFP in the country, the first Black CFP in the country. And so we were just at a diversity inclusion and seminar, I think in DC. And so I think it's important to be in those spaces where there's not a lot of Nigerians, Africans in our industry, so that we can present and just like how Kelechi be doing. If y'all go to Kelechi's IG, y'all, he got the freshest, dopest traditional blazers, jackets that you'll ever find on the internet. And people, you know, I know you get compliments all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me a shout out like that. It's like I wore the first one in like a college homecoming event, but yeah, I just love this. Like the idea was like I wanted to go back to my roots, my culture. So like, and I want to show out like I had a tailor made in Nigeria, and you know how we all are like getting our stuff made in Nigeria. It means something. We all wear, we all get compliments. So like, I definitely like just show out the culture. Make sure to let people know, you know, I'm Nigerian and proud, you know.
So that's awesome, man. I know we only got a few minutes. Just a quick question for y'all, and as we kind of wrap things up, I mean, I think we can all agree, right? This is a great industry to be in. There's a lot of opportunity, even though, you know, maybe, you know, 15, 20, 30 odd years ago, we might not have been a big presence within the insurance industry, but many of us are now kind of gravitating and building our careers out here. How can we encourage other folks to move into insurance, folks from the African diaspora or African descent, kind of move into insurance and show that this is a career of choice? This is an option that you can go in and have a really flourishing career.
We got to get them young. We got to get them young, man. The kids, because just like we all said, growing up and being told that you only have 3 options in a career is like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, if we get them young enough, they'll see that, okay, maybe there is another option, and maybe that's my route. Even though my parents and my whole family went these routes, maybe I can go that route. So my thing is, I love talking to young people. I've been working with kids since I was 12. It's like 28 years. And so I think that's important to make sure we're pouring into the younger generation, man.
Awesome. Kelechi, what about you?
I agree. And also just word of mouth, really. Like, I feel like when we're out, really, just expressing how much we care about our jobs, really, like how much opportunities, really, like if there's any open job positions. Because, like, you don't even have to be majored in insurance to do insurance or, like, have a background. You can really start insurance from anything, really. I say really just going out and just talk to people, really. And then, you know, when we have, well, I know some of us have children, but like as our children grow up, really, and you know, just telling them there's more than 3 options. There's 4, and actually there could be more than 4 too. But just letting them know that there's many ways to be successful in your life.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Honestly, I think getting them young, and I think insurance is very much a friends and family type of business, right? And especially when we think about our own communities and how we can go out and represent ourselves within our communities and show that, hey, listen, you know, be a walking billboard, talk about insurance, talk about, you know, what you do, share, you know, the experiences, share. And that's why I spend a lot of my time, you know, going to, you know, the church that I grew up, right, talking about what I do, or speaking to a lot of my friends and families who I know who are thinking about different career options. So I think this platform, right, and what we're doing here today and walking around championing the you know, the insurance industry is what it's all about, right? So we got to continue to do that so that way we can get more of us within this area.
Yeah.
So, but
the comment, somebody mentioned that people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. I love that comment. Thanks to the gentleman Matt that mentioned that. And lastly, guys, we know we got a saying. You know, we got something that we always say, especially on Independence Day, right? Niger no they carry last.
Yeah.
What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Real quick, what does it mean, though?
So we never come last, right? We always first place. We always setting trends, right? Like a lot of the stuff that happens in culture, African culture, comes from Niger, comes from Nigeria.
Influence.
Rep it.
Should be
I
the
got it
first.
on my arm. I got it tatted on my arm, y'all.
Awesome, man.
Nah, y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. This was cool.
Yeah, it was. It was. It looks like we're coming out on time. So I guess, are there any last minute questions or I guess I'll close this out. So I just want to say thank you everyone for coming out to the Slice. We enjoyed having you here, all of us. This was a wonderful experience. Don't forget to register for Gel for Pie. And also come back in 2 weeks for the next wonderful session that we'll have here in the Slice. But thank y'all for the time. Any other closings you guys want to give?
Yeah, no, this was awesome. I appreciate it. I know we only had 30 minutes. Would love to come back and try to do this again. So who knows? Maybe we'll do
we need a part two. We have a part two of this. You know what I mean?
Hour-long special.
There we go. All right, fellas.
Well, thank y'all. Have a great day.
Y'all take it easy. Appreciate it.